Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Ox Talks. It is Monday, July 15th, 2024. Yes, we are still here in Paris. It's about 10 in the morning here, so U.S., most of you guys are probably still sleeping. But I wanted to just take a few minutes here and put up a few thoughts relative to what's been going on. Everybody's weighing in, obviously, on the Trump situation. And so I'm not going to cover all this ground right now. Obviously, we're all speculating as to what happened, but the reality is this. I've been trying to take in all this information over the past 36 hours, 24 hours, whatever it's been, and just obviously from a layperson's perspective, not really knowing. I'm not trying to profess to be any kind of an expert. Just looking at this thing. The aerial of that area where Trump was appeared to be a pretty rural area, okay? If you look at the aerial, there were just only a couple of buildings which were in the immediate vicinity of the area where he was speaking. One of them, you had what appeared to be two Secret Service snipers on the roof. The other one, apparently somehow this gunman got up there and was able to get at least one round off, which we all know grazed Trump's ear. Thank God it wasn't worse than that. But I think we have to ask the questions, guys. It's really important. Obviously, one could say it was just a failure of the Secret Service to locate this guy. There was some intel, but there was some communications even before Trump took the stage that somebody entered the perimeter area. How did that happen? We could say, okay, there were many failures, and that would let's say that would be akin more to negligence. However, I saw one bit of information posted. I haven't fact checked it, that possibly the snipers were on this guy 30 or 40 seconds before he pulled the trigger. If that's the case, and we're going to have to see in the coming days and weeks how this investigation pans out, but if that is the case, how in the hell was this shot allowed to be taken? And so then you have to let your mind wander onto whether or not we have something going on that is worse than just a negligent situation, right? And we have to wonder, is there something else going on here that we all need to be paying attention to? Meaning, was there some kind of an inside situation going on? Obviously, we don't know that, but we're going to have to pay attention in the coming days or weeks, because this is important for this election and for everybody to understand. How can there be such a multi-level failure unless it was something more than negligence? All right. So again, not going to spend too much time weighing into that today. Just wanted to let you all know I'm not out of the loop on this. I am looking at the same stuff you're all looking at, and we're going to have to make a determination as to what happened. But we know that we are right now a country in economic turmoil. We're also a country that is very divided, and we have a lot of issues that we're going to have to address in the coming months. All I can say is thank God that it wasn't worse than it was. I think the intention obviously was for it to be catastrophic. We know there's a lot of forces on the other side that are working aggressively to prevent this person from getting back into a position of power. So let's see where all this goes in the coming months and weeks. Okay, have this little contraption here that allows me to walk around, another little $45 Amazon purchase, and evidently I can rotate this screen. I'm doing that so I can give you guys maybe some other views of what's happening on the well, not what's happening, but some of these scenes that I'm experiencing here in Paris. Going to be in Italy in a few days, hitting 3 different cities in Italy. So I just thought, well, look, it's an opportunity for me to share something different than my office background or sitting at the living room table my dining room table in my house, filming from there. So we are, on the streets now of Paris, and we're walking around a little bit here. So you can, like I've said before, I think the other day, the architecture. I'll turn this around for you guys. The architecture is stunning. You guys can get a feel for this. It's pretty amazing in terms of the age of these buildings and the history here, right? Going back into the 16, 17, 1800s. So amazing. I was at Versailles, Palace of Versailles yesterday, and that was crazy too. I really enjoyed seeing that. Beautiful. I guess it's 2,800 rooms. It was King Louis XIV that really, let's say, embraced that palace, and I guess they said he had 10,000 servants that he had on property at all times. But we got to tour some of the main rooms. They put you through Hall of Mirrors, the chapel, things like that. It was really amazing to see. But the tour guide we had was very knowledgeable, and I enjoyed listening to her. She obviously knew what she was talking about, and she was discussing, everything is let's say decorated in gold. And I asked her, I said, how much, and she was alluding to how much gold was, in the ceilings and around the areas. And I asked her, I said, and then she talked about silver and how a lot of their furniture in that time frame was constructed out of solid silver. And I asked her, I said, I see a lot of gold here. I'm assuming this is not solid gold. And you alluded to silver. And she said, well, what the reality is that a lot of the furniture was in solid silver, and the gold that they, let's say, decorated the ceilings with and the walls was gold leaf, all right? So you have gold leaf adorning a lot of the areas in the palace and the rooms, but and the reality is a lot of their a lot of their furniture was made out of a solid silver. In fact, they had she was discussing that in one of the parlor rooms, Louis XIV had a billiard table that was 10 tons of solid silver. And listen to this: when there was a lot of wartime, there was a lot of wars during that time, and when the country was trying to finance several wars, sometimes simultaneously, evidently they liquidated or melted down a lot of the furniture to raise cash to pay for the wars. And so I thought that was very, very interesting. Obviously, they're not stripping gold leaf off of the walls to do that, but they had solid silver furniture, so they were liquidated, or they would melt down the furniture to finance periods of wartime. So, take that as a lesson of why, from my perspective, you guys should be considering this stuff as alternative assets, as an alternative of really cash, right? Of immediate liquidity. So I thought I'd share that with you. It also made me think how, and in this case, the gold leaf does have obviously some value. It made me think of, how Americans think they have value in so much of the stuff that they buy on these shopping channels and these jewelry channels, and the handbags and the shoes and all this stuff, and stuff guys buy too, that they look at that, everyone thinks they have value here, and at the end of the day you don't, right? So in this case, going back to King Louis XIV and that time, that era, and the Versailles Palace, the value ended up being in the solid silver that they ended up converting to pay for the wars. We're at 9 minutes here. This is something new for me, kind of walking around, so I apologize if the quality or the sound is not great. We have a lot of vehicles in the background. It is Monday morning here in Paris, so you're getting everybody going to work, but we're really enjoying it. Tremendous amount of outdoor cafes. Everyone's very, very outdoors here, very social. I'm also noticing everybody's very active. A lot of bike riders, a lot of people riding their bikes places, scooters, things of this nature. Overall, I see what appears to be people trying to stay healthy, trying to eat relatively healthy, to stay relatively healthy. And I think that is kind of stands in contrast to what I see a lot in what's going on in in the United States. With people just not paying attention. I don't look around here, to be honest with you, and see as much obesity as I see, at least in my local areas in the state of California and across the country in the United States. So I don't know, let that be a lesson to all of us. Different countries take this stuff, I think, seriously, or more seriously than Americans do. We better start getting more healthy and more physically fit as a population. A lot of bad stuff is happening, probably worse than we even believe or that we all think, okay? So, let's just keep a watch on all this stuff. I'll watch the news today. The stock markets, U.S. markets haven't even opened yet. I see gold and silver were down just a little bit this morning. And let's see what happens with the futures. I would imagine, and I'm just speculating, that the markets are going to keep rallying because, look, this situation with Trump. Obviously, the fist bump, you saw that with him with blood on his ear, pumping his fist as the Secret Service carrying him off the stage, or excuse me, escorting him off the stage. That is going to embolden him, I believe. I haven't fact checked this. He was out playing golf yesterday. If that's true, someone may comment down below, or if that's not accurate information. But let's see what happens from this investigation. My mind is leading me towards, unfortunately, a darker conclusion about what possibly happened, because it seems to me that to have that many levels of failure, when you've already had scans of the area was definitely controllable in terms of the actual structures. Again, not an expert, not a security person, just looking at this from a lay person's perspective. So I won't ramble too much on today. I got up this morning early on, 6:30 my time, did an hour workout, got a sauna done, had a healthy breakfast. We're going to go out today, check out some other sites. I'll try to report in as I can. Appreciate all your comments. I'm trying to review them and respond to them as time permits. And we're here for a couple more days, and then we go down to Venice in Italy for 4 or 5 days. Looking forward to that next leg of the trip. Somebody said that Peter Schiff is here in Paris right now. I watched his podcast he put up a day or so ago. Evidently, he is here. I sent a comment to him on his channel saying, look, if he's here, I'd love to put him on the show and discuss some current events, political events, economic events. He's probably too busy. He probably doesn't read all those comments, but I'll keep you posted if Mr. Schiff reaches back out. And if he does, I'll definitely go and sit down with him if he would get on camera with me, and we'll ask some questions, and we'll get a different take. All right. So that being said, all of you have a wonderful start to your work week today when you wake up in a few hours. And let's keep a watch on everything going on. Don't forget to get the workouts in today, get those steps in, and be monitoring. Check in soon. Everyone have a great day. Bye.